Who are a few of the dumbest criminals? Let's find out. Starting with number 6, definitely not a cop. Rico Dukes, a 26-year-old from Albuquerque, New Mexico, was found guilty of impersonating a peace officer and unauthorized possession of law enforcement paraphernalia. Dukes used this facade to present himself falsely as Bernalillo County deputy on social media platforms, including Tinder, where he was eventually exposed. Dukes' charade involved a detailed impersonation where he wore a uniform and drove a vehicle equipped to mimic those of actual law enforcement. His fake identity included his Ford Explorer, which he claimed was an upgraded Chevy Tahoe patrol car that he flaunted in his online profile, along with a badge, firearm, and handcuffs. Dukes had acquired the outdated uniform and gear from a local uniform store and a weapon shop, presenting himself as an officer who had transitioned from the Albuquerque police to the county sheriff's office due to dissatisfaction with his previous role. And all of this, while weird, is normally fine. But the problem was his impersonation wasn't just for show. Dukes thought he could enhance his social standing and attract women, showing off his lifestyle and the perks of what appeared to be a legitimate position in law enforcement. He was actually so into it that he'd make regular visits to his old high school to try to impress everyone, which we're not sure if that's more sad or pathetic. Dukes was finally exposed after a Bernalillo County employee, whom he had matched with on Tinder, smelled the stinky smell of BS and contacted the sheriff's office. A detective then posed as the woman online to verify Dukes' story, leading to his arrest during a planned meetup. At his sentencing, the judge and prosecution talked about how really dangerous it was for Dukes to pretend to be a cop, noting the risk to public safety and the misuse of the trust typically accorded to law enforcement officers. He was sentenced to a deferred sentence of 2.5 years of supervised probation. It was really stupid of Dukes to just assume no one would ever bother checking into his law enforcement claims, especially on a platform as widely used as Tinder. All it took was one phone call by a possible date to blow the whole thing wide open. And not for nothing, but come on, man. Do you not know women? If there's even a hint of something fishy, they're like the CIA, and you're gonna get caught because they'll find out everything. There are no better detectives in the world than women who have something personal against someone. Number 5, ducking taxes. Samantha Hughes, a former accountant from a small town in England, got herself into serious legal trouble after making a bold career switch. Samantha, who had once been a respected professional, decided to leave her job as an accountant behind and join the world of online adult entertainment. Her move, while controversial, seemed lucrative at first as she quickly gained a substantial following on a popular platform known for its explicit content. However, what Samantha didn't expect was the attention of the UK tax authorities. After Hughes began flaunting her newfound wealth on social media, featuring designer clothes, luxury cars, and exotic vacations, HM Revenue and Customs, known as the HMRC, and basically the UK's IRS, took notice. They suspected that Samantha might not be entirely honest in her tax declarations, given the significant increase in her lifestyle and spending. Despite her attempts to conceal the true extent of her earnings, Samantha's spending led to a high-profile investigation by HMRC. The authorities were particularly interested in how she managed to accumulate such wealth so quickly, suspecting that she might have underreported her income from the platform. The case escalated, with HMRC eventually seeking a high court injunction to freeze her assets while they conducted a thorough investigation. After HMRC began investigating her for potential tax discrepancies, Hughes and her accountant, Dr. Robert Milton, allegedly engaged in a campaign of harassment against the tax officials. They threatened to dox the officers involved in the investigation, aiming to intimidate them into dropping the case. Like she's the mafia or something, and not just some former accountant turned adult film star. As a result, HMRC secured a high court injunction against Hughes and her accountant, preventing them from publishing any personal information about the officials. The court also found their behavior to be unreasonable and oppressive. This injunction was intended to protect the safety and privacy of the HMRC officers while the tax investigation continued. Samantha's legal team fought hard to keep her finances private, ironically arguing that the case was an invasion of her personal life. Yet, the court sided with HMRC, explaining that the public had a right to know when someone is potentially evading taxes. This decision not only put Samantha's finances under scrutiny, but also exposed her personal and professional life to public judgment, which is what she deserved, considering that's what she tried to pull with them. Of course, Hughes was stupid for even attempting this, since she should have known how tax evasion works anyway, let alone thinking she could intimidate anyone. Like, seriously, she must not have been very good at her old job to even get caught hiding her income, right? Number 4. Grand Theft Auto. Camper. In Colorado, a thief named David Bradley Metz decided to steal a truck in the middle of the night. But the problem was, Metz stole the truck not realizing it was towing a camper with a sleeping couple and their dog inside. The couple, understandably startled by the unexpected movement, quietly called the police while remaining hidden. Authorities quickly located the stolen vehicle around 3 a.m. and attempted to pull Metz over. But instead of stopping, Metz decided to make a run for it, leading them on a brief chase that ended on a dead-end street. Once cornered, Metz was arrested on the spot. And really, how far did he think he was going to get towing a camper anyway? It sounds like one of those doing something just to do it type of things, doesn't it? When confronted by the police, Metz insisted he was just test driving the truck, because everyone knows that the best time to test drive a truck is when it's towing something and it's after midnight. But for some reason, the officers weren't buying this totally reasonable explanation, especially after finding out that the vehicle's owners were in the back of the camper during the entire ordeal. Body cam footage captured the surreal exchange, showing the couple shaken but unharmed as they came out. Police reported there was no significant damage to either the truck or the camper. However, Metz, who had a history of motor vehicle thefts, faced multiple charges, including second-degree motor vehicle theft, reckless endangerment, and vehicular eluding. So this incident just added to his growing list of criminal activities, which already included 3 prior arrests for similar crimes. And really, if he was going to steal a truck, he should probably have picked one that wasn't already towing something. But maybe he wanted to steal the truck and the camper because he needed a vacation or something, and this seemed like the best way to make that happen. But he still probably should have checked to see if there was anyone in the camper first, since people do tend to sleep in those things. But that's just our opinion, and we could be wrong. Number 3. Threatening a good time. Samantha Thomas, an 18-year-old from North Liberty, Iowa, really didn't want to go on a date with some guy. But instead of just canceling her plans by saying she just had to wash her hair or something, she called 911 and falsely reported that the man, whose name has been withheld, was on her doorstep threatening her. Thomas, who had matched with the man on a dating app a week prior to her planned date, panicked when it came time to meet him. Instead of simply backing out, she concocted a story to get him off her property. And it wasn't like she just said, "Oh, there's a weird guy outside" or something. Instead, Thomas made up this crazy story that the man was her terrible ex-boyfriend, claiming that she was pregnant with his child and that he was threatening her. To make her story more convincing, she even claimed they had known each other for over 2 years. When the police arrived, they found the man casually walking away from Thomas's house. He explained that they had only just met on a dating app and had been communicating via text for about a week. To prove his story, he showed the officers their text messages, which corroborated his account of events. Luckily, the conversation was clear. He was just a guy trying to meet someone new. So the police then interviewed Thomas, who stuck to her story, insisting that she had known the guy for 2 years and that he was the father of her unborn child. But under repeated questioning, Thomas eventually admitted that she had made the whole thing up. She confessed that she got cold feet and didn't want to go through with the date. She said she thought that calling the police with a fabricated story was the only way to get out of the situation, because she's also not very bright. The man was detained for over an hour due to Thomas's false accusations. As for Thomas, she was charged with 2 misdemeanor counts of filing a false report and 1 count of misusing the 911 system. After her brief stay in Johnson County Jail, she was released. What's the worst excuse you've heard a friend give in order to get out of going on a date? Let us know in the comments below. Number 2. The Homecoming Dance. Lydia Johnson, a Spanish and math teacher from Macomb Township, Michigan, was charged with embezzling money from her own school. As a teacher at Dakota High School, she held a position of trust as the student activity coordinator, managing funds for student activities, including the highly anticipated homecoming dance. But instead of safeguarding these funds, Johnson was funneling them into her gambling habits. Over the course of her time as the student activity coordinator, Johnson was responsible for collecting money from ticket sales and fees used for various student events. In one instance, the homecoming dance alone brought in nearly $30,000. However, only $11,000 of that was ever deposited into the school's account. The remaining funds were suspiciously unaccounted for. An internal investigation later revealed that Johnson had made multiple deposits into her personal bank account, amounts far exceeding her teacher's salary. Further investigation revealed that Johnson had a penchant for gambling, specifically on penny slots at the MGM Grand Detroit Casino. In 2016 alone, records showed she had spent over $90,000 at the casino, a figure that raised even more red flags. The thing was, she didn't even try to cover her tracks. Empty cash deposit envelopes from the homecoming dance were found alongside casino receipts in her classroom of all places, pretty much telling everyone where the missing money had gone. When the discrepancies were discovered, the school district acted quickly, placing Johnson on administrative leave and contacting the authorities. The investigation led to her arraignment on charges of embezzlement, with the potential of facing up to 10 years in prison. In court, Johnson pleaded no contest to a lesser charge of embezzlement of amounts between $200 and $1,000, a misdemeanor that carries a maximum penalty of 1 year in jail. She was ordered to repay $30,000 to the Chippewa Valley School District, placed on probation for 2 years, and required to seek treatment for her gambling problem. The dumb thing about this is that there was basically no way she wasn't going to get caught. There were too many people who would notice large amounts of student funds missing, so it was just a matter of time before someone was going to start asking questions. That was already not the best situation, but then to make large cash deposits in her personal bank account and literally leave evidence in her classroom of all places is next level stupid. If you're enjoying this video, be sure to stay tuned right here to find out 6 of the dumbest influencers. Number 1. Sukihana gets arrested. Destiny Lynette Henderson, better known by her stage name Sukihana, got herself mixed up in some pretty serious legal trouble. The 32-year-old television personality and rapper, originally from Delaware, was arrested in North Lauderdale, Florida, on charges related to the possession and intended sale of illegal substances. Sukihana, known for her bright orange hair and prominent face tattoos, was taken into custody with a grin on her face, which she flashed during her mugshot. Sukihana, who gained fame as a cast member on VH1's Love and Hip Hop Miami in 2020, was held on a $7,500 bond after being charged with possession with intent to sell. Law enforcement in Broward County apprehended her, but details surrounding her arrest remain scarce at the time of this video. The charges against her could lead to significant legal consequences if proven in court. Before her arrest, Sukihana was well known in the entertainment world, not just for her television appearances, but also for her music career. She made waves with her mixtape, Wolf P, and hit songs such as Hood Rats and Born by the River, which featured collaborations with fellow rapper Sexy Red. With over 600,000 monthly listeners on Spotify, Sukihana's influence in the music industry was evident, even as her controversial persona attracted both fans and critics. This wasn't Sukihana's first encounter with controversy. Just a year before her arrest, she was involved in a music video shoot with Sexy Red's single Shake Ya Dreads, where a tragic incident occurred. Firearms were discharged at a gas station, taking someone's life, though Sukihana wasn't implicated in the event. Despite her legal woes and strange interviews, such as her viral appearance on the Really Good podcast, Sukihana continued to maintain a strong, if not polarizing, presence in the entertainment industry. As of the release of this video, Sukihana has since been released from custody and has spoken out publicly about her charges. Of course, she denies the allegations, claiming that she neither uses nor sells illegal substances, which is a tough sell since police found enough illegal substances to hit her with intent to distribute charges. She also mentioned that for some reason, she thinks that the charges against her will be dropped because of a lack of probable cause. Apparently, she also thinks of herself as a bit of a lawyer. In addition to addressing the charges, Sukihana has used the situation to her advantage by launching merchandise featuring her mugshot, with slogans such as "Good Cat Gone Bad." What's stupid about the whole thing is that she's low-level famous, so she's most likely not broke, meaning there's pretty much zero reason for her to be selling anything illegal. And if she is broke, being on a popular reality show means she made the wrong moves in not monetizing her low-level fame. Basically, she made really dumb decisions. What are some of the dumbest things influencers actually do? Well, let's find out, starting with number 6, On the Lam. Colombian influencer Ada Victoria Merlano helped break her mother out of jail using rope and a bike. Merlano's mother, former Senator Ada Merlano Reboledo, was convicted after authorities discovered evidence of weapons, voter fraud, and corruption linked to her election win. Reboledo was thrown in jail within 6 months of her election win, but her daughter wasn't having it and came to her aid 2 weeks later. On the day of the breakout, the disgraced politician had a dentist appointment outside of the prison. Correctional officer and driver escorted her to the dentist's office, but allowed her to go to her appointment unsupervised. Merlano distracted the security guard while her mother jumped out of the exam room's third-floor window with the help of a hidden rope that her daughter set up for her. Once she was on the ground, Reboledo jumped on the back of a bike driven by a man pretending to be a delivery driver. When news of her mother's escape hit the media, Merlano embraced the free publicity. The influencer, who had 2.5 million followers, was featured on the front page of a magazine and posed wearing only handcuffs. Authorities eventually found Reboledo in Venezuela and arrested her. Officials also arrested and charged Merlano and the dentist for their role as accomplices in the prison break. The mother-daughter duo argued their innocence during the trial and faced years in prison if found guilty. But Merlano was released on bail and remained active on social media, where she posted about the importance of staying happy despite the fact that she may spend a significant amount of her life in prison. With the family's connections and money, maybe they should have hired someone to break Reboledo out instead, rather than letting Merlano take the situation into her own hands. It's cool that she had her mom's back like that, but the breakout sounds like something out of a cartoon, doesn't it? Number 5. Overplaying her hand. Texas influencer Sassy Trucker, whose real name is Tiara Young Allen, faced 2 years in prison after she screamed at a rental car agency employee in Dubai and had her passport confiscated. Sassy Trucker seemed to think she could act the way she would in the US, which must be pretty sassy, without considering that she may have different rights in a foreign country. Apparently, she was involved in a fender bender, which resulted in her rental vehicle being impounded along with her credit cards and cell phone. When she was back at the car rental agency, Sassy Trucker claimed the employees told her she couldn't have her stuff back until she paid an undisclosed amount of money. According to Sassy Trucker, she fought with the employee who made the demand, and the agency called the police. Law enforcement confiscated Sassy Trucker's passport and refused to give it back while they decided whether or not to press charges against her. Sassy Trucker claimed to be one of the only female trucking influencers in the world and the first one in Dubai. A fact she must have thought that she was really important. She visited the city multiple times in the past and documented her trips on social media. The influencer elicited the help of Detained by Dubai, a non-profit assisting U.S. citizens incarcerated there. Its CEO put out a statement acknowledging the distress Sassy Trucker's family had experienced and referring to a similar case where 2 Americans paid an extortion fee to a rental car agency to recover their passports and leave the country. Sassy Trucker's family also enlisted Senator Ted Cruz's office to help, who released a statement claiming they would gather details and work to bring Sassy Trucker back to the U.S. Allen ultimately paid a $1,360 deposit to Dubai police to clear her travel ban, so she did get back home. But she may still have some other legal complaints that haven't been resolved. It's always good to remember, if you're visiting another country, you're in their house, so don't act sassy. Number 4. Baby Shark doo 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 doo. A Chinese influencer with almost 8 million social media followers infuriated fans when she filmed herself roasting and feasting on a baby great white shark. In the deleted footage, a vlogger known as Tizzy unwrapped the 6.5-foot fish and lay next to it to show how much shorter she was than the vulnerable predator. Then, she boiled the head in hot water to create a broth and seasoned the rest of the body with various spices. Tizzy gained millions of followers with her live streams on Chinese platforms Douyin and Kuaishou, where she would consume rarely eaten animals like crocodiles and ostriches. In the controversial viral footage, Tizzy tore off large chunks of meat from the baby shark and ate them, saying that they had a tender texture. The International Union for Conservation of Nature lists great white sharks as a vulnerable species and is one step away from being classified as endangered. Police in the city of Nanchang, with seemingly too much time on their hands, actually performed DNA tests from tissue remnants of the animal to confirm confirm it was a great white shark. The vulnerable fish is protected under Chinese law, and officials claimed Tizzy broke wildlife protection laws in her video. China banned trading and consuming wild animals at the beginning of COVID-19 pandemic to prevent zoonotic diseases. Diseases spread from animals to humans spreading. The ban caused a crackdown on influencers who streamed videos of themselves eating endangered animals. The illegal possession or trade of wildlife products in China can result in fines or a prison sentence. Although Tizzy claims she legally bought the shark on Alibaba's Taobao shopping platform for $1,140, she received an $18,500 fine for cooking and eating the great white. Maybe she shouldn't have eaten a vulnerable species on camera. Number 3. Don't listen to Barbie. Valeria Lukyankova, better known as the Ukrainian Barbie, faced accusations of running a sect when she gave her followers life-threatening advice. The Barbie impersonator, who also styled herself as an alien princess named Amachu, denied having any plastic surgery beyond a breast enhancement. She said the rest of her unique appearance was due to living on a diet of cosmic microfood, better known as air and light. She told her followers that she had out-of-body experiences that took her to planets scientists had not discovered yet, and that she'd communicated with extraterrestrial beings. Fans paid $17 monthly to join Lukyankova's exclusive club, Rex Deuce, where she taught members about her lifestyle and beliefs. Lukyankova attempted to convince members of Rex Deuce that a scary worm or octopus-like parasite lived inside of everyone's body, and it would destroy the body's will and dominate it. The Barbie impersonator urged followers to drink turpentine to rid their bodies of the parasite. She also told female fans that breathing over mercury would give them paranormal abilities and allow memories of past lives to awaken. Lukyankova further told her followers to make tampons with grapefruit essential oil and tar, which she claimed would shrink their reproductive organs. Blogger and YouTuber Katya Kanasova, who specializes in exposing fake healers, called out the Barbie wannabe for her dangerous advice. Lukyankova's followers risked their health by following the advice, and at least one person developed severe anemia. One of Lukyankova's aides, Anastasia, allegedly threatened people who critiqued Rex Deuce and claimed she would flush anyone who dared say a negative word about the club down the toilet. We're not sure if this was a valid threat. One day, Lukyankova abruptly closed Rex Deuce. She posted an explanation saying that the club had helped many people find themselves, understand how their worlds worked, and allowed them to master quantum technologies and apply them to daily life. So, obviously, mission complete. While she said she received gratitude from members of the organization, she decided she couldn't run the club anymore. She ended the post by stating that she wanted to share information with even more people. One commenter suggested that the real reason for closing Rex Deuce was that Konasova exposed her, while others accused her of giving dangerous advice and putting people's lives at risk. Lukyankova moved to Crimea in 2014 after Vladimir Putin annexed it in an attempt to help boost tourism. The avid Putin supporter faced a probe by the Russian police and prosecutor's office for her outrageous advice. Lukyankova eventually disappeared and is believed to be hiding somewhere in Mexico, probably still giving weird, bad medical advice. And look, we feel bad for these people that took her advice, but who's listening to Barbie and being like, oh, that makes sense, I'll drink turpentine? It sounds like one of those weird toys where they say something, but it sounds like something else, right? Like she's saying, we'll have fun at the mall or something, but all the kids hear is, you have an octopus parasite inside you that wants to take over your body. Number 2. Puppy Girl. Former optician Jenna Phillips ditched her 9-to-5 to make 6 figures a month acting like a dog. Known as Puppy Girl Jenna, Jenna earned 196,000 fans on TikTok thanks to videos of her doing everything a puppy would do, like being walked on a leash to getting yelled at for going to the bathroom inside, whatever in the world that actually means. One of her videos showed her crawling and panting across the kitchen as she moved toward her food and water bowls that sat on a rack on the floor. She took a few bites of the food, then licked the crumbs that fell on the ground. In another clip, Jenna was on all fours outside a restaurant wearing a leash and collar and begging her owner for table scraps. Jenna explained that she enjoyed acting like a dog and has always felt like one. She said that she wanted to play fetch or just run around and play. While Jenna had been curious about puppy play for many years, she turned it into a career opportunity when she created her OnlyFans account. Although she originally planned to use her account as a hobby, she soon made thousands of dollars a week. Jenna decided to quit her job as an optician and make puppy play her full-time job. Subscribers typically spent $20 monthly for her content, although some were willing to pay hundreds of dollars $100 for exclusive clips. Puppy Jenna's popularity resulted in other social media users posting reaction videos mocking her content. Despite being made fun of, Jenna publicly stated that she found the reaction videos funny and acknowledged that she had a very unusual job. Other puppy girls have created social media accounts and gained similar popularity, generating hundreds or thousands of dollars monthly with their specific content. Whoever the types of people are that enjoy watching girls act like dogs, enough of them out there are willing to pay for it. And seriously, her having an accident inside leaves us with a lot of questions. Number 1. Not the cop car. German Big Brother celebrity contestant Emmy Russ posed on a police patrol vehicle parked outside a police station, leaving a dent on the hood. Russ asked her mom to take pictures of her dressed in a miniskirt outside a police station. She climbed on top of the car and gave the camera a playful look before officers confronted her. Officers demanded that she get off the vehicle and saw the damage her stunt did to the car. So they accompanied her to the station and filed an official complaint for the property damage she caused. Russ denied being responsible for the dent on the car and said that she took a picture of the vehicle before she climbed on top of it so she wouldn't be held responsible for it. The police confiscated her phone to check for damage to the car in her previous photos. If the investigation confirmed that Russ was responsible for the damage, she would likely face a fine of several €100. Maybe taking a photo on top of a car in front of a police station wasn't the brightest idea. The follow-up should have been her in the back of a cop car. Click to watch one of these next videos. Let us know in the comments section what you'd rather do. Date someone who's a 10 in looks but below average intelligence, or date someone who's a 6 in looks but is a genius.